All right, so let's take a look at the next handheld, and I'm going to go with the handheld / USB battery bank with extra controller. Let's open it up and see what it comes with. So inside the box is hopefully the one that I ordered, and ultimately it doesn't matter. Yep, there it is. I picked the green one, and it's got this like copper trim to it, copper buttons and printing. Manual, we'll take a look at it in a bit. USB Type-C, that's a good sign. And this one also does AV out with a standard 3.5mm jack. So, actually, before we get to that, let's look here first. So they're calling it 3TH Game. And of course, how it works, what it comes with. Screen projection method. That's interesting. And of course, just maintenance and stuff like that. And the other side is going to be Chinese language. All right, so we'll take a look at the unit. Got 6 face buttons, 3 function buttons, a D-pad, and an analog stick. On the bottom, you've got your 3.5mm jack, which is your headphone jack and your AV out, a USB Type-A, a Type-C, and a micro Type-B, and a button shows you the current charge. It does have a USB Type-C cable here, as well as a lightning cable right there. So on top, we've got a volume rocker, an SD card, which is 32 gigs, and then, of course, the power button. Nothing really on back. So let's power this on. Neat. Street Fighter 2, Dino something. Can't read it. WF, you got King of Fighters there. Something Oriental. Samurai, Metal Slug. Also, let's see here. Got a CPS2. Selection of games there. Neo Geo. Tons of King of Fighter games, of course. Samurai Showdown, Fatal Fury. All the usuals. IGS, not sure what that is. And this now it's ISG, so I apologize. Looks like some more additional arcade games. And I'll see here it says IGS, and there it's at ISG. And then we've got a folder. With a bunch of extra games on it. So is this just arcade, or this is... Oh no, because there's Adventure Island 1, 2, 3, and 4. Bet you there's some ROM hacks on here, as well as copies and clones and duplicates. So this might do everything. Let's just see what Afterburner is. Is this Genesis version? It's not the arcade version. Hit reset. I think that just restarts the entire system. Oh no, that brings up this menu here where you can quit. Oh, okay, there's additional menu items. So you got your Famicom, Super Famicom, Mega Drive, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and then back to Capcom Arcade, Neo Geo Arcade, and then this IGS. So we do have a bunch of different stuff here. I'm probably not going to go through the entire list of games because there's a ton, including Contra 7, because, you know, that's a thing. So 868 NES games, although it says right up there too. Let's back out. Let's look at the Super Famicom. We've got 1167 games on here. Mega Drive 912. Game Boy 1142. Color 1112. And GBA 762. Interesting. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at some of the systems. So I'm going to be playing like this because it's a little more comfortable for me behind the camera. And let's go back to Famicom. It does seem to remember your position, so that's good. Not sure, but it almost sounded like the sound was a little staticky. Controls might need to be remapped and not very comfortable for me. So they've got B as A and R as B. So I'm used to playing by holding B and then pushing A. So yeah, I'm going to have to... Let me see if I can reconfigure the controls. I'm guessing it's under joystick. Key mapping will apply to current game. Interesting. I want that to be... No, I want that to be B. And B can be A. Perfect. Let me see if that actually did it. There we go. That's better. So being able to remap the buttons is very key for systems like this because they don't always map them the correct way, as you just saw. In fact, I would be willing to bet that they haven't mapped any of them. Oops. Hard to play on camera. Seems like there's some double button presses too occasionally. See, I just tried to slide and it jumped. So, not the most accurate of controls. D-pad's a little spongy. The buttons feel okay except for the double presses. And if I open this up, we'll take a look. But NES seems to run fine. Let's go ahead and quit. Let's go ahead and take a look at SNES next. Trying to find a game that I recognize and I'm somewhat familiar with. And there is a film over the screen that is not scratched or scuffed or anything like that. Let me take a look at the controls. So yeah, so they've got LR. This is just backwards because these are labeled this way. And again, it's because they're going with an ABYX instead of the BAXY. So yeah, you're definitely going to want to have to remap the keys. Now I'm hoping that this doesn't mean literally every game and that it means per system, because otherwise it's going to be real fun. But we'll keep this mapping the way they have it for now. Oh, that is severe slowdown. And this is only Super Nintendo. Yeah, I think I've had enough of that. Let's take a look at one of the other systems before we open this guy up. So I want to take a look at Mega Drive, because if that also slows down, this system's in trouble. Although I'm willing to bet you could probably replace the operating system on here. I mean, there might not be one available. All right, come on, where's Sonic at? There we go. My go-to, Sonic 2. That's fine. At least this game's easy to play. Doesn't matter what the button mapping is. It's basically one button. Oops. And the emulation seems to be okay. The shield here isn't flickering the way it should, but I don't know if that's because of the emulation itself or because it's not an interlaced screen. There was a little bit of a sound skip there. Let me pause that, go to the menu here. Let me see if we have any. Yeah, so we can switch between that and that, but no other options like filters or anything like that. So I missed it. I want to see how it performed. Another sound skip there. And there's a little bit of screen clipping going on, but I don't know if that's the display or if it's the emulation. But yeah, performance does not seem to be very good for anything beyond 8-bit, so I'm not even going to attempt any of the arcade stuff. NES seemed to run fine, except for the occasional sound skipping, which, I don't know. I mean, is it just not optimized? Or what? I mean, it doesn't show any specs for the CPU or anything, unfortunately, so I can't say what it's got. It just says what the power output is. Let's go ahead and see if there's a way to open it. So there are some screws. Let's get this opened up and see if we can't determine what it comes with. And then we'll also see if it charges. Actually, we'll test the charging before we open it up, because if I ruin something, it may not work right. So grab the USB Type-C here, and I'll grab my phone. Charging, but it doesn't seem to support fast charging. So yeah. Now I wonder. Now the phone's already full, so obviously I can't do a full test to see how long it takes. Let's see if I can charge via the USB-A port to USB-C cable or not. I cannot. And I don't have a USB Type-C cable available, so I can't check that. But that's fine. It charges, so we're good on that. Let's go ahead and get this opened up. All right, these look to be PH0 screws, so that's what I'm going to use. Look to be about the same size. So I got the battery, the various ports and everything in a display. Wow, these are very thin wires, but again, they only need to be used for charging. They're definitely not data, so the battery itself does seem to be adhered. I think there's some sort of foam pad in between. Something is definitely holding it in place, and I can't tell what it is. Probably the thumbstick. This would probably have to come off. There's a little cap for it. Oh, so it's just a switch light style thumbstick. There we go. Okay. Thank goodness. And then there's a speaker here, which is just press fitted in. So we've got the display here. And beneath the display is, of course, a chip that has everything sanded off. Yeah, that is definitely sanded off. Interestingly enough, there's only really 2 chips on here other than these, I'm guessing, power ICs and maybe an audio amplifier. So you've got the SoC here, which is going to be some sort of ARM chip, almost definitely. And this is almost definitely RAM, so I think the entire operating system is stored on the SD card. Yeah, that's interesting. Guess I'll plug it into a computer and I'll find out off camera and let you guys know what I find. Because, yeah, there are no other chips on here that I can see unless there's something under the battery, and that doesn't seem to be very removable at the moment. They used a really good adhesive, and I don't want to take any chances and potentially damage the battery. So the contents of the SD card were interesting to say the least. I'll post a couple of screenshots here. One shows the contents of the root, which has a bunch of folders for the different emulators and stuff. 6 ROMs folder, or a BIOS folder for things like the Game Boy Advance BIOS and some of the other systems. But then there's this system folder in there that has some strange files where it almost looks like Windows system files, but this is almost certainly not running Windows unless they've managed to figure out how to get a version of ARM for Windows running on here, or Windows for ARM on here. I don't know, but yeah, interesting anyway. So let's continue. I'm actually a little bummed out because I had some hopes for this one being kind of a neat little novel idea. Take it on the road with you, play some games if you're, on a plane ride, train ride, something like that. You also need a charger. You've also got a charger, ready to go. So I guess the emulation performance just was not good at all, as you saw, the stuttering. And right now, I don't recommend it. I paid $30 for it. It shipped for free. But $30 can get you a way better battery bank, and it can get you a way better handheld system. Can't get you both necessarily, so I guess you do have some of a compromise there, but the compromises are kind of both negative instead of more positive. So yeah, for now, stay away from it. If I can get some better performance out of it, I'll do a follow-up video. What you guys think? Should you unfortunately pick up one of these things? Leave some comments below. Otherwise, thanks all. I'll catch you later.